Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Hockey Talk with TG podcast. I'm Ty Glenn. Hope you guys are having a great Monday. Hopefully you had a great weekend as well. I know my weekend was great. I got to see Ole Miss Rebels football team come out with the win over the Florida Gators. Our hockey team played the Florida Gators this weekend as well. Not a great result, but still a great weekend for Ole Miss as well, as we came out with the win over the Florida Gators. Also, the Chicago Blackhawks won against the Toronto Maple Leafs this weekend, and the Chicago Bears won against the Minnesota Vikings in comeback fashion as well. So my weekend was great. Got to see Ole Miss come out with the win, see the Blackhawks come out with the win over the Maple Leafs, even though Connor Bedard's point streak ended, but still a win nonetheless. And I got to see Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears come out with the win over the Minnesota Vikings. But anyways, lots of great hockey news to discuss in the Hockey Talk with TG podcast for today. So make sure that you stay tuned in to this episode until the end. And as always, do me a favor, hit that like, subscribe button if you are watching the Hockey Talk with TG podcast on the YouTube channel. Make sure to follow the Hockey Talk with TG podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and iHeartRadio. We are with you guys every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 11:30 a.m. to noon Central Time, 12:30 p.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Time. So hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell button, and make sure that you are following the Hockey Talk with TG podcast on all your podcast streaming platforms, so you can stay up to date on the latest episodes of the Hockey Talk with TG podcast, and so you can stay up to date on the latest NHL news. But without further ado, let's go ahead and recap the 2025 NHL Global Series. So we'll start off with the first game. The Predators won 2-1 in overtime. Steven Stamkos scored the overtime game-winning goal in the Predators' 2-1 win over the Pittsburgh Penguins. This was a comeback win for the Nashville Predators. They really needed this win because coming into this one, they lost 5 in a row. 5 straight games that the Nashville Predators has lost coming into this one. So this was a much-needed win for Nashville. And I have a couple of friends who are Nashville Predators fans, and I'm pretty sure that even though the second game didn't come out with a win, which I'll get into that in a second, they had to feel good about the first game. Because like I said, the Predators was struggling of late. They were coming off a 6-3 loss to the New York Rangers heading into this game. And so they needed this one. They needed that to get some engine of momentum back into their system. I don't know if the engine part makes sense, but you guys know what I mean on that. Philip Forsberg, who is a Swedish native, by the way, because the Global Series took place in Stockholm, Sweden. He had the game-tying goal on the backhand with just 1 minute and 10 seconds left before the third period had ended. And UC Saul's a Finnish native. I'm not sure how Sweden fans felt about him. I don't know if he had boos or whatnot in this game because the Sweden and Finland rivalry. But I'm pretty sure they didn't boo him. I don't know. But UC Saul's, he made 16 saves on 17 shots faced in net. And for the Pittsburgh Penguins, Evgeny Malkin, he had the long goal for Pittsburgh. He opened the score in the second period on a bank shot off of UC Saul's, which, you know, kind of reminded me of the 2017 Stanley Cup Final. And I know Predators fans don't want to hear that. But it kind of reminded me of the Patrick Hornquist goal in Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Final, which he banked off of Pekka Rinne and into the net. That was a heartbreaking loss for the Predators that year in the 2017 Stanley Cup Finals, but still a great series nonetheless. But yeah, the Evgeny Malkin goal kind of reminded me of the Patrick Hornquist goal that was scored in the 2017 Stanley Cup Final, where Patrick Hornquist banked a shot off Pekka Rinne into the net, and then Carl Hagelin iced the game on the empty netter. Artis Sivertsos made 28 saves on 30 shots facing the net in this one. And the Penguins, they had an off night kind of game. I mean, according to Pittsburgh Penguins head coach Dan Hughes, the Penguins were quote-unquote off in terms of our details and our execution. But they still had a great, solid game overall despite the loss. Fun fact, this is the 47th regular season NHL game played outside North America and the 17th time played in Stockholm as well. But moving on to the second game of the NHL Global Series, which was yesterday, the Pittsburgh Penguins had a 4-0 shutout win over the Nashville Predators, and rookie goaltender Sergei Murashov made 22 saves for his first NHL win, and he got it done in dramatic fashion. I probably wouldn't say dramatic fashion, but he got it done in style as well. He had a shutout for his first NHL win. And the Penguins got off to this game early. They had an early scoring burst in this one. They had 3 goals in the first period. They set the tone early. They got goals from Parker Wotherspoon, Evgeny Malkin, and Sidney Crosby. So the vets coming into play. Well, by vets, I mean Evgeny Malkin and Sidney Crosby. So the vets coming into play in the scoring for Pittsburgh, and it was the same thing in the first game in the Global Series because Evgeny Malkin had a goal for Pittsburgh in that one. Scoreless second period, though. Predators outshot the Penguins 8-4 in the second period, but couldn't get on the score sheet. And Blake Lazar capped off the game with an empty netter goal late in the third period to make it 4-0. And so the Penguins split the Global Series in Stockholm, Sweden. Each team, Predators and Penguins, coming out with a win in Stockholm. Predators with a 3-2 overtime win, and the Penguins with a 4-0 shutout win. So each team grabbing a win in Stockholm and grabbing 2 points as well. Penguins grabbed 3 points because, they had an overtime loss, which in hockey, in hockey, a win is 2 points, a regulation loss is no points, and an overtime or a shootout loss is 1 point. I just want to say that for the people who don't usually watch hockey or the casual fans almost. So, again, a regulation win is worth 2 points. A regulation loss, you get no points, and a overtime or shootout loss is worth 1 point. So the Penguins grabbed 3 points in the win in the Global Series because of the overtime loss and the regulation win. And the Predators, grabbed 2 points because they had the overtime win and the regulation loss. Overall thoughts on this one: it was a great, entertaining Global Series. Love to see the NHL keep doing these to grow the game of hockey. That's what it's all about, growing the game, expanding it in areas that you normally wouldn't see hockey, getting other people to play, bringing young people into the game. This was an entertaining event overall, and it brought back some nostalgia because this was a 2017 Stanley Cup final rematch between the Nashville Predators and the Pittsburgh Penguins. A little bit upset that the Predators have swept my Chicago Blackhawks during the 2017 Stanley Cup playoffs, but still, it was an entertaining series nonetheless in the 2017 Stanley Cup final. So it did brought back a little bit of nostalgia, and in 2017, that was also the first time that the Predators have made the Stanley Cup final. Not have made Stanley Cup final any other year, so 2017 was the first time that Nashville was in the Stanley Cup final. Wish they would have came out with the win, though, despite them sweeping my Chicago Blackhawks that year. But still an entertaining series, and this was an entertaining Global Series as well. Veterans came into play. They were on the score sheet in this one. Steven Stamkos, Philip Forsberg for Nashville, and Evgeny Malkin, Sidney Crosby for Pittsburgh. So veterans still going strong in this one, but we'll see what happens next. The Predators, they return home to face the Colorado Avalanche in a Central Division showdown Saturday at 7 o'clock p.m. Central Time. The Penguins return home to the Steel City to start a 3-game homestand against the Minnesota Wild Friday at 6 o'clock p.m. Central Time. That game will air on NHL Network for you guys to watch. But moving on to the Detroit Red Wings and New York Rangers game, as Detroit Red Wings held off the New York Rangers for a 2-1 win in the Original Six showdown at Madison Square Garden on Sunday. And the Red Wings moved to 11-7-1 of the season, following the win, their second place in the Atlantic Division as well. They extended their point streak to 3 games in the process, in which they were 2-0-1 during the span. Lucas Raymond had the game-winning goal for Detroit with 3 minutes and 47 seconds left in the third period. Carried the puck through the right circle. He carried it around the net, then skated between the hash marks to scored past Jonathan Quick. He also had an assist for a 2-point night. And fun fact, Lucas Raymond has 20 points in 17 games this season, 5 goals, 15 assists for 20 points, 17 games this season. This is the quickest, he is the first player, or I probably should say the quickest a Red Wings player, age 23 or younger, that has reached 20 points in the season since Sergei Fedorov did it in 12 games. And we all know how that Red Wings team was in the 1990s, developed a rivalry with the Colorado Avalanche, and then they won a couple Stanley Cups that year, 1997, 1998, won 2 Stanley Cups in the 1990s. But that rivalry with the Colorado Avalanche, man, oh man, was that entertaining and fun to watch. Alistair Brinkett had a goal for Detroit in this one. Of course, his goal coming on the power play in the second period. Dylan Larkin picked up an assist in the Red Wings win over the Rangers. He assisted on Lucas Raymond's goal for his 599th career NHL point. His next goal or assist will make him the 11th player to score at least 600 points with the Red Wings. And Cam Talbot made 18 saves on 19 shots faced the net. Detroit controlled pretty much most of this game. They outshot the Rangers 42-19 in the game. They were in control, never let their foot off the gas pedal, and they were just all over the Rangers in this one at Madison Square Garden. We all know how the Rangers have struggled at home. They did get a win at home this season, though, but the majority of the time the Rangers have struggled at home, so we kind of knew that. This probably wasn't really a surprise, though, but I just wanted to point that out, that the Red Wings were in control for most of this game, but still a good game nonetheless. For the Rangers, Mika Zibanejad scored the lone goal for New York. He tied the game up at 11 minutes and 59 seconds into the second period. That goal coming on the power play, and Jonathan Quick made 40 saves or 42 shots faced the net. For the Rangers, I don't know. This was a good game for the Red Wings, bad game for the Rangers. And the Rangers captain JT Miller said, and I quote, "Today wasn't good enough. They outplayed us. If it was for Quickie, that game could have been wide open." Pretty much agree with that entire quote. Jonathan Quick kept this game close for the Rangers. And like I said before, the Red Wings controlled most of this game. They never let their foot off the gas pedal. They were in control. They outcooked the Rangers in this game. I don't know if that made sense or not, but they outcooked the Rangers in this game. And Jonathan Quick, like JT Miller said, kept this game close, was in it. The Rangers, of course, struggled at home, but Jonathan Quick was the backbone for the Rangers. He had this game close. He made some key saves in this one, kept the Rangers in it, kept this a close game. This easily could have been a 8-1 win for the Red Wings, but Jonathan Quick made some timely saves in this one. And the Rangers were without their head coach, Mike Sullivan. He was out due to personal reasons. So assistant coaches David Quinn and Joe Sacco split the head coach responsibilities in this one. One key takeaway from this game, despite the loss, I'm pretty sure Rangers fans had to enjoy this despite the loss, was the line brawl at the end of the game between the Red Wings and Rangers. So one of the Red Wings players, I believe it was Mason Appleton, who shot the puck into the empty net at the end of the game. And then after that, there was a line brawl that came off the bench. That sparked the line brawl off the bench to end the game. And another thing, too, it was great to see both of these teams wear their Centennial jerseys in this one. I mean, Red Wings wore their home Centennial jerseys. The Rangers, of course, wore their home Centennial jerseys. So it was some nostalgia and old-time hockey right there. I'm going to see if I can pull up a photo of the line brawl between the Rangers and Red Wings. To the people listening on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and iHeartRadio, you guys probably won't be able to see this, but for the people watching on YouTube, you guys will be able to see this. But for the people listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and iHeartRadio and other podcast audio apps, you probably won't be able to see this. But for the people watching on YouTube, you'll be able to see this. But yeah, check this out. Check this out right here. This is old-time hockey right here. I mean, absolute madness right there to end the game. It was a full-on line brawl to end the game for the Red Wings and Rangers. This is old-time hockey. This is original six hockey. This is nostalgia hockey. This is any type of hockey you want to call it. I mean, come on. I mean, one of the reasons why I like hockey so much is because of fights like this. Hockey can get kind of crazy at sometimes. It can be entertaining and crazy at the same time. One of the things I like about hockey, greatest sport and game in the world, no other sport is like this. Absolute crazy and madness. And check this out too. Check out the jerseys. This is an all-time jersey matchup right there. These are classic jerseys, classic original six style jerseys right here. This is a great jersey matchup between the Red Wings and the Rangers. I'm pretty sure Red Wings and Rangers fans have to feel great about this one. And hockey fans in general overall. So, yeah, that was a crazy game. And this is, I thought Spinning Chicklets posted a video for that as well. But let's see if I can find a video on this. Like I said, the people listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and iHeartRadio, you guys will just have to listen back to the YouTube video of this so you guys can see what I'm showing to all my YouTube viewers. But yeah, this is the video right here. This is the video right here. And I believe it was Appleton that shot the puck into the empty net. And then the Red Wings celebrated. And then afterwards, it was a full online ball. This is crazy. This is crazy right here. But yeah, this is the video for the YouTube viewers. It was a crazy game. It was just a crazy game. It was an entertaining game because of the jersey matchups and stuff. But the line brawl at the end made this even better. So yeah, I'm just gonna play this for you guys until the video goes off. Yeah, crazy game. And I want to see a goalie fight too. The last time I seen a goalie fight was in, I believe, 2020, where the Battle of Alberta, Mike Smith and Cam Talbot were going at it. I believe that was the last time I saw a goalie fight. But yeah, that's the video right there. I want to see Jonathan Quick and Cam Talbot drop the gloves at the end to make it really entertaining. The refs don't let the goalies fight. I mean, come on, let them fight. Who doesn't want to see a goalie fight? But yeah, I think the last time I seen a goalie fight was in 2020, where the Flames and Oilers Battle of Alberta, Mike Smith and Cam Talbot were going at it. And then there was an early part of the season where the Senators were facing the Capitals in Washington, and Linus Ullmark skated down from the net all the way to the Capitals end, and he was going to drop the gloves with, I believe it was Charlie Lindgren in that game for the Senators and Capitals in Washington. But yeah, the refs, they don't let the goalies fight. I mean, come on. Gotta let the goalies fight. The fans will be pretty much entertained as to the players fighting and stuff. But yeah, I just wanted to bring that point up. And I really enjoyed that game. That should be a top 10 game of the year just because of the jersey matchups and the line brawl at the end. It was certainly entertaining for all hockey fans to watch. I'm pretty sure Rangers fans had to enjoy that despite the loss. I mean, like I said, this easily could have been an 8-1 win. But it was a close game, and it was a great jersey matchup as well. And the Rangers coming into that one, they had won 3 straight games. Their win streak comes to an end, and they move to 10-8-2 of the season. They do start a 3-game road trip in Las Vegas against the VGK, Vegas Golden Knights, Tuesday at 9:00 p.m. Central Time. The Red Wings start a 3-game homestand against the Kraken Tuesday at 6:00 p.m. Central Time. But moving on from the Rangers game to the Devils, as Devils for Jack Hughes will be out 8 weeks for the Devils due to a finger injury at a team dinner. Most people call this a quote-unquote freak accident. And according to what I read and what I heard, Jack Hughes injured his hand by slipping on something and cutting his hand. And there was other reports saying that he leaned on the glass during dinner, which broke and caused the cut. He underwent the surgery on his finger, and he's expected to be out for 8 weeks. And I said this off air. I don't know if I said it on air, but I know I said this off air. A healthy Jack Hughes is great for the New Jersey Devils. A healthy Jack Hughes is a great Jack Hughes, and it's great for the New Jersey Devils. An injured Jack Hughes, I can see the Devils going on maybe a 4 or 5 game losing streak. But maybe that doesn't happen. That's just my perspective, because with Jack Hughes in the lineup for the Devils do really well. Without Jack Hughes, it's maybe do well, but most of the time they don't do well without Jack Hughes. At least from my perspective. You guys might have an entirely different perspective. But before the injury, Jack Hughes was off to a very strong start. He had 20 points in 17 games this season, 10 goals, 10 assists for 20 points in 17 games this season. And this is not only bad for the Devils, this is also bad for Team USA and USA hockey fans like myself. He'll probably, if he's out for this, well, he's going to be out for 8 weeks. But I'm saying he might miss playing for Team USA for the Winter Olympics in Milan. That's going to really hurt Team USA. And I'm looking forward to seeing another Team USA and Team Canada battle in the Olympics for the championship, just like we saw the 4 Nations last year. But without Jack Hughes, without Matthew Tkachuk, without Austin Matthews, that's going to hurt Team USA's chances to get into the championship for the Olympics. And take a look at how this will affect the Devils. This is a major offensive loss. So losing Jack Hughes weakens the Devils' offense, and without them, their elite offensive production takes a serious hit. So it's just like I said before, a healthy Jack Hughes is a great Jack Hughes. A healthy Jack Hughes is great for the New Jersey Devils. And without Jack Hughes, the Devils kind of lose. They go on like a 4-game losing streak or so, if not 5-game losing streak. And it's not good for the New Jersey Devils. It's not good for them, and it's definitely not good for their offensive group. But they will have to reshuffle some lines. They will have to probably lean more on other first-round draft pick in Nico Hischier, because he was a 2017 first overall draft pick for the New Jersey Devils. Jack Hughes was 2019 first overall draft pick. So they'll have to lean on him or Dawson Mercer to contribute to the Devils lineup. And like I said, if Jack Hughes is out longer than he has to, because he's out for 8 weeks, but if he's out longer than that, he's not going to be able to play for Team USA. And like I said, I'm going to feel really upset about that as an American, because I want to see Team USA win gold against Team Canada, because that's most likely going to be the matchup in the Olympics, just like it was for the 4 Nations last year. USA, Canada going at it. So, I don't know who's going to be playing for Team USA with Jack Hughes now out, Austin Matthews out, Matthew Tkachuk out. I think Matthew Tkachuk is going to be out on the ice in the next few weeks or so. I think that's the rumor that I heard. Speaking of which, I did listen to Brady and Matthew Tkachuk's new podcast, Wingman, and it was a great, entertaining podcast. Podcast talks about hockey, of course, because they're both hockey players, and they talk about life in general. So I really enjoyed that podcast. Their episodes come out every Wednesday. They had an episode come out Thursday last week just to premiere the episode to hockey fans, but that's going to be an entertaining podcast to listen to. It's a great podcast, talks about hockey, talks about life. It's going to be a great, funny, intriguing podcast to listen to. I did listen to the first episode last week, and it was really good. So, just had to throw that out there since I was talking about Matthew Tkachuk and the other players that could possibly play on Team USA's roster that are out with injuries. But the overall thoughts on this, I don't know. I know Devils fans are devastated. I can see the Devils going. Hopefully they don't go on a losing streak, but that could very well be the case. At least from my perspective, when Jack Hughes isn't in the lineup, the Devils do struggle. But hopefully that is not the case. Hopefully they can still put up wins without Jack Hughes. But Injured Jack Hughes is not great for the Devils. They struggle without Jack Hughes in the lineup. But again, hopefully that won't be the case. This isn't the first time that Jack Hughes has had injuries like this that has been out, that has him being out for this long. I remember last season, I believe, Golden Knights and Devils in Las Vegas. Jack Eichel accidentally had a hit on Jack Hughes, and he was out for maybe 4 to 5 weeks or so. So this isn't the first time that Jack Hughes has had injuries like this, that has had him being out for, this long or so. He's had injuries like this before, and the Devils have struggled like this before, especially in the playoffs last year when they were taking on Carolina in the Stanley Cup playoffs last season in the first round. Both Jack Hughes and Luke Hughes were out for the Devils, and I think another key player for the Devils was out as well, and the Hurricanes beat the Devils in the playoffs last season to win in 5 games. So having your star players like Jack Hughes injured is not great for the Devils, and for Team USA, certainly not great as well, because Jack Hughes was supposed to be playing for Team USA, but he's out with injury. So I don't know how that's going to shake up. Devils are going to have to reshuffle their lines. Team USA is going to have to shake up their roster a little bit until they get Austin Matthews, Jack Hughes, and Matthew Tkachuk back. But we'll just have to see how everything goes for the Devils and for Team USA. That's all I can say. Let me know you guys' thoughts on it, especially if you are a Devils fan. Do you see yourself struggling without Jack Hughes? Do you think you guys are going to losing streak or so? Let me know you guys' thoughts on the Jack Hughes injury, especially if you are a Devils fan. Let me know down in the comments below. You can comment on YouTube, you can comment on Spotify, or wherever. So, yeah. But moving on from one Hughes brother to another Hughes brother, Quinn Hughes. He had 4 assists in the Canucks' 6-2 win over the Tampa Bay Lightning on Sunday. This is his first game back in the lineup for Vancouver. He finished with 23 minutes and 48 seconds of time on ice, 4 shots on goal, 27 assists, and had a +1 rating to close out the game. He actually led all skaters in ice time, by the way, a game with 23 minutes and 48 seconds of time on ice. And the Canucks moved to 9-9-2 of the season. They end their 3-game losing skid. And the Canucks had a big third period to power them to this 6-2 win. They scored 5 goals in the third period. Of course, they got goals from Kiefer Sherwood, Linus Karlsson, Drew O'Connor, Mackenzie McEwen, and Marcus Pettersson. Kiefer Sherwood, Linus Karlsson, Drew O'Connor had 3 goals in a quick 1 minute and 40-second span in the third period as well. So that really helped the Canucks out to the 6-2 win. Jake DeBrusk also scored for Vancouver, while Kevin Lankinen made 28 saves on 30 shots faced the net. Canucks special teams was good as well. They finished 2 for 3 on the power play. Had a perfect 2 for 2 penalty kill. They got power play goals from Jake DeBrusk and Kiefer Sherwood in this one. So that third period really changed the game for Vancouver, because they were down 2-0 this game to the Tampa Bay Lightning on goals from Nikita Kucherov and Jake Gensel. And that third period really changed the game and really helped them out to the 6-2 win. For the Lightning, following this loss, they moved to 9-7-2 of the season. They continue their 3-game homestand against the Devils Tuesday at 6 o'clock p.m. Central Time. That game will air on NHL Network for you guys to watch. And the Canucks wrap up a 3-game road trip in Sunrise, Florida against the Florida Panthers Monday at 6 o'clock p.m. Central Time. But moving on from Tampa, Florida, to the state of hockey, St. Paul, Minnesota, Kirill Kaprizov. He scores the overtime game-winning goal in the Wild's 3-2 overtime win over the Golden Knights on Sunday. Scored on the power play with 10 seconds left in overtime. 11th career overtime goal for Kirill Kaprizov, Kirill the Thrill. And the Wild improved to 9-7-4 of the season. They extended their point streak to 5 games, in which they are 4-0-1 during the span. Shea Theodore was called for hooking on Matt Boldy with 29 seconds left in overtime. Wild had a 4-3 advantage. And Kirill Kaprizov had a redirection goal, had a tip-in off of the pass from Matt Zuccarello into the back of the net for the win. So not good for the Golden Knights to take that penalty, and that did cost them this overtime loss. For the Wild, Joe Eriksson Ek and Yakov Trenin scored the other goals for Minnesota. Matt Boldy had an assist. He assisted on Kirill Kaprizov's overtime game win to go. He's currently on a 4-game point streak in which he has 6 points during the span, 3 goals, 3 assists for 6 points during a 4-game point streak for Matt Boldy. Philip Gustafson made 23 saves on 25 shots faced in net in the win. And for the Golden Knights, Riley Smith and Pavel Dorofeyev scored for Vegas, both goals coming on the power play. And Carl Lindbaum made 24 saves on 27 shots faced in net. And the Golden Knights have lost 5 of their past 6 games. They're 1-2-3 during the span. They're 8-4-6 of the season. Did not expect the Golden Knights to be struggling like this. I mean, with Jack Eichel, Mitch Marner, that Golden Knights team, with them struggling like this, it's really weird and odd to see. I wouldn't expect them to be struggling like this, but hopefully they change their tempo soon and come out with some wins because, come on, if the Golden Knights don't make the playoffs this season, especially with the addition of Mitch Marner, NHL fans, particularly Golden Knights fans, are going to be so shocked and devastated. I mean, come on, you shouldn't be struggling like this, especially now that you have Jack Eichel and Mitch Marner on the team. Like, it's just crazy. But the Golden Knights return home against the Rangers Tuesday at 9 o'clock p.m. Central Time. Maybe they'll grab a win at home. The Rangers have been so good on the road, so that'll be a tough matchup against the Rangers because of their dominance on the road this season and the Golden Knights struggling. So we'll see if the Golden Knights can get a win at home against the Rangers. The Wild conclude their 5-game homestand against the Hurricanes Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. That game will air on TNT, True TV, and HBO Max for you guys to watch. And then the last game on the Sunday slate, we got the Avalanche and the Islanders. The Avalanche came out with a 4-1 win over the New York Islanders. They won 6 in a row. They extend their point streak to 10 games, in which they are 8-0-2 during the span. Maybe they might go on a 7-game winning streak. I touched the mic. But yeah, 6-7. They might go on a 7-game winning streak. Might extend their winning streak from 6 games to 7 games. 6-7 trend. But the Avalanche have won 6 in a row, extend their point streak to 10 games, 8-0-2 during the span. Speaking of point streaks, Nathan MacKinnon had his 11-game point streak come to an end, in which he had 23 points during the span, 8 goals, 15 assists for 23 points during an 11-game point streak. And the Avalanche improved to 13-1-5 of the season. They sit atop at the Central Division with 31 points. Brock Nelson had a goal and assist for a 2-point night. Victor Olofsson, Ross Cole, and Martin Nature scored the other goals for Colorado. Scott Wedgwood made 28 saves on 29 shots faced in net. And for the Islanders, Emil Heineman scored the lone goal for New York, while Ilya Sorokin made 24 saves on 27 shots faced in net. And the Islanders' 4-game winning streak comes to an end, and they move to 10-7-2 of the season. They continue their 7-game road trip in Big D, Star State, in Dallas against the Stars Tuesday at 7 o'clock p.m. Central Time. The Avalanche wrap up their 4-game homestand against the Rangers Thursday at 8 o'clock p.m. Central Time. Taking a look at the NHL games on the slate for today. There's only 6 games on the NHL slate, starting with the Carolina Hurricanes taking on the Boston Bruins in Beantown at 6 o'clock p.m. Central Time, followed by the Edmonton Oilers taking on the Buffalo Sabres at 6 o'clock p.m. Central Time. And then we got the Vancouver Canucks taking on the back-to-back Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers at 6 o'clock p.m. Central Time. And then we got the LA Kings taking on the Washington Capitals at 6 o'clock p.m. Central Time. Actually, am wearing an Alex Ovechkin shirt right now. To the people that's watching on YouTube, I actually did wear an Alex Ovechkin t-shirt. Greatest goal scorer of all time. 900 and plus career NHL goals for Alex Ovechkin. And he and the Caps will be in action today against the LA Kings at 6 o'clock p.m. Central Time. But yeah, I just wanted to point that out since the Capitals do play today. I actually am wearing the Alex Ovechkin t-shirt. And then we got the Montreal Canadiens. Well, first, I'll just say this. I got this t-shirt last year when Alex Ovechkin broke the goal scoring record against the Islanders, where he passed Wayne Gretzky on the NHL's all-time goal scoring list. And, that's when I got the shirt, when he beat the record and became the greatest goal scorer of all time. So just another point to point that out. But anyway, Montreal Canadiens taking on the Columbus Blue Jackets at 6:30 p.m. Central Time. This will air on Amazon Prime for Canadians only. And then the final game of the night, Utah Mammoth taking on the Anaheim Ducks at 9 o'clock p.m. Central Time. Both of these teams off to surprising great starts. So this should be an entertaining matchup out in Southern California between the Mammoth and the Ducks. But that's going to do it for this episode of the Hockey Talk with TG Podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in as always. Really do appreciate it. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe button on the Hockey Talk with TG Podcast YouTube channel. Make sure that you are following the Hockey Talk with TG Podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and iHeartRadio. We are with you guys every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 11:30 a.m. to noon Central Time, 12:30 p.m. to 1 p.m. each time. So make sure to hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you can stay up to date on the latest episodes of the Hockey Talk TG Podcast and the latest hockey news. Both of you guys have a great rest of your day. Keep God first as always. Be blessed. I'll see you guys on Wednesday for another episode of the Hockey Talk with TG Podcast. Take care.